Welcome guys to my creative corner. This is Claudette, where I create projects using stamps, inks, papers, embellishments, mixed media, and a whole lot of joy. Today I'll be creating a slim notebook. And if you're interested in this, please do stick around. If this is your first time to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So let's get started with our project. So this beautiful slim notepad, I'm going to show you how I cut this down and designed it. And I use Stampin' Up! Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper. And this is how the inside is look designed, as well as the back. And this is awesome. This would be awesome for keeping recipes. So I would keep my recipes for the fall, and I'm also going to do one for the Christmas holidays. So I'll have specifically those Christmas recipes in those books. And these would be nice for gift giving. As well, if you do craft fairs, these would be awesome gifts to have to sell at your craft fairs. So let's get into our project. So the paper that you're going to need is you're going to need 2 pieces of, these are the papers that we're going to need for the outside. So the outside pieces are measuring 4 inches by 10 inches. So we need 2 pieces of those. These are going to be for the inside lining. And these are measuring 2 1/4 by 7 3/4. Then you're going to need a little short piece for the covering, this covering to the top right here. And this is measuring 2 1/2 by 3 inches. You're also going to need some cardboard, or they call them ChipBoard. There was a piece of cardboard that came with the notepad. So this is measuring 2 1/2 by 8 inches. I also use the cardboard that comes with the designer series paper or the printed paper, and these are like 12 by 12. And I went ahead and cut that down. And again, that is 2 1/2 by 8 inches. So you're going to need 2 pieces of those. And if you have the chipboards, which is really a heavier piece of cardboard, so whatever you have in terms of cardboard, go ahead and use those. So I'm going to show you how I cut down the notepad. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my trimmer in. So to cut down my notepad, I use a guillotine trimmer. And this is the Fisker's guillotine trimmer. I did an unboxing on this, and I do love this trimmer. And I got 3 notepads from the dollar store. So you could make 6 of these slim notepads, or you could double up, make them a little thicker, and you could create 4. So that's a good price for just $1. So with the notepad, what I did is I just separated, because this is not like a professional guillotine trimmer. You could only cut so much paper at one time. So what I do is I went ahead and trimmed this. So this notepad is 5 by 8 inches. So I'm going to cut it down the middle at 2 1/2 inches. So I just keep on stripping the paper down, and I'm going to put it at 2 1/2 inches. And cut that down. And when you cut it, it's not as even as 2 1/2 inches. One is just slightly thicker. So I just line those up with the sizes. And then I have my 2 halves. So that's how I cut down my slim notepads. So when you cut them down, you're just going to stock your pieces up together evenly. I'm just going to go ahead, stack them up evenly. I'm going to bring in my hot glue gun and I'm just going to run a bead of glue right over the top just to make sure those stick down together. Then you could just take a piece of paper and just run that through to make sure it gets through the grooves. We'll go ahead and set this aside. So we'll bring in our first piece of paper that's measuring 4 inches by 10 inches. We're going to take our chipboard, and I went ahead and put double-sided tape on this. I'm just going to use my bone folder and make sure that's down there nice, sealed down nicely. Then I am going to take my piercing tool and take the back end up off of that. Then we're going to lay this down in the center. I'm going to make sure that's nice and sealed. Flip it over. Take your bone folder and run that over. Make sure your glue is nicely sealed. Then what we're going to do is bring our scissors in and we'll miter cut the corners. Then we're going to fold these in. We're going to fold in the sides. Take my bone folder and give that a nice crease. And I was inspired by the Paper Posh lady. She designs these all the time here. So what we're going to do, I am going to bring in, you could use double-sided tape again as well, but for this part, I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-purpose glue and glue those edges down. Then we'll bring the lining in and we'll add that. So I'll use my multi-purpose glue and lay the liner down. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other backing. So you don't need to see me do that, but it's the same thing, and I am going to do this one off camera. There we have our backing for our slim note pads. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our slim notepad, and we're going to sandwich this between the covers. And I have a piece of double-sided tape. We're going to hold those two together. I like that the notepad is yellow on the inside because that just depicts fall. So once we get that lined up nicely, I am going to take my double-sided tape and hold those two together. And I am going to take my bone folder and make sure that's sealed down there nicely, and as well as the edges. Next, what we're going to do is work on the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment from the Country Home stamp set, Simply Thankful for All the Good Things. And I'm going to heat emboss that with some clear embossing powder, as well as I'm going to use Cajun Craze. Get my Versamark ink, get my embossing buddy, so we're going to take our Versamark ink and go ahead and ink our stamp up, and then we're going to go ahead and get some of that Cajun Craze ink. So we're going to go ahead and get our clear embossing powder. Let me put on my heating tool, get that ready. So we're going to add our clear embossing powder over our stamp sentiment. Bring in our heating tool. So we add a little shimmer to that. We have the Cajun Craze color and we just have a little shine to that. Okay, so I'm going to add the double-sided tape. I'm just going to trim off the excess. I'm going to take my bone folder, give that a nice good press, make sure that's nicely stuck to my cardstock. So what we're going to go ahead and do is remove the backing off of this piece right here. And this is just extra adhesive to keep our notepad together. So I'm going to go ahead and take the backing off of this. And I'm just going to make sure that the excess glue on the edges are not protruding, so it doesn't catch on anything. Just going to roll those edges back. So what we're going to do is add this. You want some to go to the back, and how much you want in the back, that is up to you. But I'm just going to line it up, make sure all my sentiments are in the front. I'm just going to take my bone folder and give that a good press, especially right here to the seam. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is go ahead and add a bow to this. Okay, so I created this bow from our Ornate Garden Ribbon Combo Pack. It also comes with old olive green, and this one here is in the terracotta to match our ink and our cardstock. I also went ahead and did a little label, and it says for you, and I used the itty bitty setting stamp set for that. So I used the itty bitty stamp set for that, for the little sentiment on that. And I cut this out using the mini curvy keepsake die sets. They have a lot of little tags. And I'm going to use some twine from the Forever Greenery combo pack, and that comes with another ribbon. So I am going to go ahead and add that to my tag. Just gonna bring in my hot glue gun and glue that ribbon on. If you guys are getting any creative value from this video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim my ribbon up. And this twine tends to fray. I think that came out pretty cute. And I'll bring my other one in. So those are my 2 slim notepad design for fall. And these, like I said, will be awesome to hold recipe for the fall time. As well, you could use this for any other occasion. Guys, get out there and be creative. Thank you guys for tuning in to my creative corner. This is Claudette, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.